Some of them will not accept you. Some of them that I met, they would say, I don't want a Nigerian in my house.
Why Ghanaian landlords, and in fact even Nigerian landlords who are residents in Ghana, sometimes reject Nigerians? The perception that Nigerians are bad. The ashawo olosho kind of business that goes on in Ghana, and we know that a lot of Nigerian ladies are involved in the olosho business. But in Nigeria, usually when the quarrel begins, it ends with an actual fight. Sometimes people are maimed, knives are drawn, bottles are broken. A lot of Ghanaians believe that Nigerians are not neat. Some Nigerians, let me put it that way, some Nigerians are not neat. Why Ghanaian landlords, and in fact even Nigerian landlords who are residents in Ghana, sometimes reject Nigerians who want to be tenants in their houses? This is a known fact, and in recent months a lot of Nigerians have come out to talk about this. Now I want to give you some few reasons why Ghanaian landlords, as well as Nigerian landlords who are living in Ghana, do not want to give their buildings to Nigerians. First one is the perception that Nigerians are bad. Truth be told, some Ghanaians have not come into direct contact with Nigerians or have not given their apartment to Nigerians, but they are living off the experiences of other people. You understand? So some Ghanaian landlords have given their buildings or apartments to Nigerians, and it did not really end well, right? And so because of that, some people do not want to go through the same traumatizing experience, so they would rather not give their buildings to you at all. That is the first one. The second reason has to do with how loud Nigerians are. This might be good and it might also be bad. You know that Nigerians are usually very bubbly, outgoing and all that. And sometimes when you give your buildings to them, because of their loud nature, you see they are playing music and they are not playing the music a bit undertone, loud. And a lot of Ghanaians are not used to this. You understand? We like the calm nature. We like our peace. But I've experienced it before, and they are like, you are in your room alone. Why open the music so loud? For who else to listen? It is you that want to enjoy your music. So bring it undertone and enjoy it yourself. If you have earphones or earbuds, you can listen to it. If I want to listen to my music, I will go play it, you understand? And because of this, sometimes it leads to certain altercations that under normal circumstance shouldn't happen. So that's the first reason. Now, the second reason has to do with quarreling. Now, in both countries, people quarrel, right? But sometimes when Nigerians quarrel, it usually leads to fight, like physical, blow exchange. But in Ghana, when people quarrel, it just ends at, like 99% of the times, it will end at, just the quarrels. You insult me a little, I insult you a little, I say something bad about you, you say something bad about me, and then, people say, stop, let's go, and then we move on. But in Nigeria, usually when the quarrel begins, it ends with an actual fight. Sometimes people are maimed, knives are drawn, bottles are broken, and all these things, and it doesn't augur well. You want your peace of mind. Before you know it, the police have come in, they've dragged people to the police station. Today we are in court and all that. So to prevent all this wahala, the landlord would not want to give his or her building or apartment to you. I hope it is understood. If I want to prevent all these things, why give my my buildings to somebody that potentially could cause mayhem? And when I want to have my peace of mind, that you're now dragging me into issues, unnecessary issues. So the next point has to do with neatness. A lot of Ghanaians believe that Nigerians are not neat. Some Nigerians, let me put it that way. Some Nigerians are not neat. You know, when you live in, apartment buildings or compound houses especially, you do not have cleaners. So people who live within these, compound houses are responsible for cleaning the house. Usually, what Nigerians do is that when it is time for them to work, they don't want to do it. They do not want to do it. And sometimes it gets annoying. And so, you see that tenants will keep on calling landlords, complaining about this issue or that issue, and landlords become tired. Do you understand? And landlords become tired at some of these things. And so in order to, prevent all this stress or go through all this wahala, why would you, in the first place, give their apartments to Nigerians? Do you understand? So please, as a Nigerian, if you go and stay in somebody's house, keep the house clean. Do you understand? Keep the house clean. I'm not saying all Nigerians do that, but this perception still lingers in the minds of Ghanaians, and that is why I'm bringing it up. Next point is the ashawo olosho kind of business that goes on in Ghana, and we know that a lot of Nigerian ladies are involved in the olosho business. Now, some Ghanaians don't want to rent to some of these Nigerian ladies because some landlords stay within the same compound. They have children, other tenants have children, and they don't want some of these girls influencing their children in a very bad way. Right? How it makes sense. They feel like if you are into prostitution, maybe you might not be, but then they might think that, oh, how is this girl getting the money to come rent this place or that? And so they think that there is the likelihood that you're a prostitute. If you're a prostitute and you come and live in their house, perhaps they have, female children, some influences can happen. Some of these Nigerians also come to, live in people's houses, and some of them begin sleeping with other women's husband. And this can also, lead to one thing or the other, cause chaos, mayhem in house, breach the peace and all that. And sometimes to avoid these things, they just want to, be precautious and prevent, these things from happening. Now, that was for the ladies, but for the guys especially. Look, sometimes when they come and live in your houses, they go and bring women. One woman after the other, one woman after the other, one woman after the other. What do you expect the landlords to do? Some of these people are Christians, some are Muslims. Their values do not teach that. In fact, even we Ghanaians, sometimes when you go and rent, the landlord sits with you or the landlady sits with you and tells you to come show your girlfriend to her because she doesn't want you bringing different women to the house. I'm telling you, they sit you down and tell you about these things. They do not want to see you bring one woman and the other. I'm telling you, sometimes you are bringing a normal friend, and then the landlord or the landlady will call this girl and begin to question the girl about whether she's your girlfriend, she's your sister, where she knows you from, and all that. This communal attitude, sometimes they want to prevent, this changing of girlfriends and then all that. So, and sometimes when these Nigerians come in, I'm telling you, they bring one girl and other, and next time if you're Nigerian and you're coming, they know that you're also about exhibiting the same attitude, and that is why they do not want to rent to some Nigerians. Another reason has to do with doubling of tenants or quadrupling of tenants every now and then. So you will give your apartment to one Nigerian, maybe just one bedroom, self-contained, or maybe 2 bedrooms. You give it out to one person, and then the next few days you see thousands of people living there, And a lot of these people, you will enter and they have laptops, basically scamming. And you see, if the police get hold of these people, they assume that they've been able to connive with the landlord or the landlady. And so sometimes they also get trouble. You understand? So in order to prevent all these things, they do not want to give their buildings to Nigerians at all, because they are afraid of the fact that if they give their buildings to a Nigerian today, just one, in the next day they are going to have 10 or more people living in the same house. Another reason has to do with arrogance. Now, even as Nigerians, you'd agree with me that some Nigerians are very, very arrogant. Some people would, say that it is confidence. But because of the very calm nature of Ghanaians, sometimes that confidence will rub off to Ghanaians as arrogance. Because in Ghana, we are taught to listen to your adults. You are taught in a certain way, right? And so adults expect you to, live up to that teaching that you have been given. And so sometimes when some Nigerians come into the society, maybe because they are not Ghanaians and because they feel like they do not owe it, as courtesy to respect Ghanaian adults, they come, they challenge them, they speak in tone or in a way that they are not supposed to. And sometimes, it has certain repercussions on other Nigerians, because just imagine that your culture demands something. Because I've seen in Nigerian movies where people are, prostrating, right? Virtually bowing, almost lying on the ground, greeting adults. But you come to Ghana, they don't do same. Some are very arrogant. They are talking back at their landlords. Some even insult, landlords and landladies. Some insult tenants in their houses. And, that entitlement attitude of some Nigerians. They feel like everybody should bow to them and all that. Landlords don't like that. Seriously, a lot of landlords in Ghana do not like that. And so, to avoid these things, they do not rent to Nigerians. And the last reason has to do with payment of bills. Look, you have come to rent a place. Now, when you are coming, you are given tenancy agreement, right? So you know that when you are coming, you're going to pay water bill. I know in Nigeria, a lot of, people do not pay water bills because they have, boreholes. But in Ghana, we use the Ghana Water Company limited products, right? So the water is from somewhere connected to your house. Every month, a bill is brought to you and you have to pay. So sometimes if you are living in, one house, the bills are shared among tenants, right? And they each pay something. Usually it is not that huge, but some Nigerians always want to abscond. They don't want to pay some of these bills, and because they don't want to pay, sometimes one person has come to do it, another person has come to do it, and so now the landlord doesn't want to give it to anybody again, just to have his peace of mind. We also pay electricity bill, or today now you have prepaid. A lot of these things makes Ghanaian landlords not want to rent to Nigerians. Now, what will my advice be? My advice would be that if you're Nigerian and you're coming to Ghana, or you come to Ghana, like the saying goes, if you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. Learn the ways of the Ghanaian. Try to adapt. Try to live amicably with the people living there. Don't come there and try to impose your own cultural identity to the people. It is good to assimilate sometimes, but try and adapt to the people's way of life. Because Ghanaians have, a very calm persona. If you don't take your time, you might think they are idiots. If you don't take your time, you might think they behave in an unintelligent way. But let me tell you, you see that calm nature, they are so calculated. They are so calculated. They are watching your every move. Sometimes you can steal. Everybody knows that you are the one that has stolen, but they are going to keep quiet. They are just waiting for that opportune time to deal with you. So don't take them for granted. Look, I buy things from some Nigerians in Ghana. I know that some Nigerians are fantastic. Some Nigerians are so good. You go there and it's all vibe. But some of you too, I tell you, your attitude must be checked. And so this is some of the reasons why. And so my simple advice, if you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. I go by the name of Celebrity. If you enjoy contents like this, do not forget to hit on the subscription button, leave a like, and your comments are also welcome. Thank you for watching. I'm out.